Have you ever wondered why some beloved holiday traditions vanished? From handmade holiday cards to door-to-door carolers, stay tuned to rediscover cherished memories and why they disappeared. Remember the joy of crafting holiday cards? Before the days of quick texts and social media posts, holiday cards were a way to show someone how much you cared. These weren't just pieces of paper. They were works of art, adorned with festive designs and heartfelt messages. Sending a holiday card was a tradition that many people, especially within the Black community, eagerly anticipated each year. The excitement of decorating and personalizing each card brought a sense of warmth and connection that a simple digital message just can't replicate. Maybe it's time to revive this lost art and bring back the tradition of sending out something special for the holidays. Advent calendars, with their little doors or windows revealing treats or small gifts, were originally handmade by families. Do you remember the excitement of waking up each December morning to open a new door, discovering a surprise thoughtfully placed there by a loved one? Parents would craft these calendars with love, filling them with personalized surprises for each day leading up to Christmas, making the countdown to the holiday even more special. The effort and care that went into creating each unique calendar made the tradition all the more meaningful. Nowadays, most Advent calendars are mass-produced and store-bought, with pre-filled chocolates or toys, and the tradition of making them by hand has mostly faded. Have you ever made your own holiday decorations? One of the simplest yet most delightful was the popcorn garland. All it took was some thread, a needle, and a lot of popcorn to create these crunchy, festive strings. Draping them around the Christmas tree or hanging them in the doorway was a fun, crafty activity that brought the family together. Each popcorn piece was carefully threaded, and as the garland grew longer, so did the sense of accomplishment and togetherness. In a world where decorations are often store-bought and mass-produced, there's something charming about making your own, even if it's just for the nostalgia. The aroma of fresh popcorn filling the room added to the festive atmosphere, making the experience all the more memorable. These handmade touches made the holidays truly personal, but what about the excitement of heading out to shop for gifts in a festive atmosphere? Do you remember when holiday shopping was a full-day event? Before the convenience of online shopping, we would visit mom-and-pop stores, browsing aisles filled with potential gifts. The thrill of finding the perfect present and the joy of experiencing the holiday spirit in person was something truly magical. Customer service was more than just a term. It was an experience. Store owners took pride in creating a festive atmosphere that made you feel welcome. Shopping was as much about the experience as it was about the gifts. Nowadays, safety concerns and the rise of online shopping have made this tradition less common. But there's something to be said for the nostalgia of an old-fashioned holiday shopping spree. Have you ever opened your door to the sweet sound of Christmas carolers on a chilly winter evening? Door-to-door caroling was once a beloved tradition that brought neighborhoods closer together, filling the air with festive spirit and joy. It's surprising that something cherished since the 13th century could fade away. But as times have changed, so have our ways of celebrating. Once, communities would eagerly anticipate the carolers, with families bundling up to join in or simply listen from their porches. The songs ranged from classic hymns like Silent Night to lively tunes like Jingle Bells, each note bringing warmth to the cold night. Today, you're more likely to hear Christmas songs from a speaker than from cheerful carolers. The convenience of technology has replaced the tradition, with playlists and digital streaming now taking center stage. But perhaps this year, we can bring back the tradition of spreading holiday cheer through song, even if it's just among friends and family. Imagine the joy of gathering a small group, bundling up in scarves and mittens, and sharing the timeless gift of music with your neighbors. It could be a simple, yet heartfelt way to reconnect with the true spirit of the holidays. Before television and the internet, radio was a central part of family life, and Christmas carols singing on the radio was a beloved tradition. Families would gather around the radio to listen to live broadcasts of choirs and holiday music, often singing along as the familiar melodies filled their homes. The warmth of voices harmonizing over the airwaves brought people together, creating a shared experience that was both comforting and festive. It was a time when the whole family would pause their activities, join in the singing, and feel connected to others doing the same across the country. With the advent of more visual forms of entertainment, this simple auditory tradition has become a thing of the past, replaced by screens and streaming services. The Ule Log is a tradition that dates back centuries. Originally, it was a large log burned in the fireplace on Christmas Eve as part of a winter solstice celebration. Do you remember gathering around the fireplace as the Yule log crackled and popped, filling the room with warmth and the comforting scent of burning wood? In more modern times, Yule logs became decorative pieces or even delicious chocolate cakes that were enjoyed during the holidays. Did your family ever make or share a Yule log cake, delighting in the rich, chocolatey goodness that symbolized this ancient tradition? The sight of a Yule log, whether real or symbolic, evoked feelings of warmth, togetherness, and the enduring spirit of the season. It's a tradition that, like many others, deserves a place in our modern celebrations. Could reviving the Yule log tradition bring back some of that old-fashioned holiday magic? From music to the warmth of a crackling log, these traditions brought people together. But some decorations took things to the next level. Let's explore the shiny marvels of the past. Have you ever wondered what holiday decorations looked like in the 1950s and 60s? During this era, silver Christmas trees were all the rage, embodying the sleek, futuristic style of the mid-century. These bright aluminum trees were a striking departure from the traditional green fir, standing out with their shiny, metallic branches. They became a trendy centerpiece in many homes, especially when paired with color-changing lights or rotating stands that made the trees shimmer and sparkle from every angle. The shiny branches reflected the twinkling lights beautifully, creating a magical holiday glow that felt both modern and festive. Families would gather around these unique trees, marveling at their beauty and enjoying the contemporary vibe they brought to the season. Though they've fallen out of fashion, the nostalgia for these trees remains strong, with some even seeing them as vintage collectibles. Who knows? Maybe this year, a silver tree could make a comeback, adding a touch of retro flair to your holiday decor and bringing a bit of mid-century magic back into our homes. Do you remember when tinsel was the crowning touch on every Christmas tree? Tinsel was once a staple of holiday decorating, adding a shiny, sparkling effect that reflected the tree lights beautifully. Made from strands of silver or aluminum, tinsel was carefully draped over tree branches, giving the tree a glimmering, icy appearance that captured the magic of winter. It created a mesmerizing effect, making the tree shimmer with every twinkle of the lights. However, the mess it left behind, finding stray tinsel pieces long after the holidays, and the rise of more eco-friendly decorations led to its decline in popularity. Still, for many, the sight of tinsel evokes warm memories of Christmases past. Have you ever wanted to bring the magic of a snow-covered forest into your home for the holidays? Flocking a Christmas tree, coating it in a white, powdery substance to make it look snow-covered, was once a trendy way to do just that. The faux snow effect was often achieved with a mix of soap, cornstarch, and water, or by using commercial flocking sprays, transforming ordinary trees into winter wonderlands. This festive tradition added an extra layer of holiday charm, making your tree the sparkling centerpiece of your home. Families would spend hours carefully applying the flocking, ensuring that every branch looked just right. The final result was a tree that seemed straight out of a snowy fairy tale, with lights reflecting off the white coating, creating a soft, magical glow. For many, flocking the tree became a beloved holiday ritual, a way to capture the essence of a white Christmas even in warmer climates. However, as artificial trees became more popular and concerns about the chemicals used in flocking grew, this tradition has largely disappeared. Despite this, the memory of those beautifully flocked trees continues to evoke a sense of nostalgia and longing for the simple joys of the past. Stay tuned to discover the history of the holiday fruit bowl and why it was once a centerpiece of festive celebrations. Once upon a time, a toy train set was the ultimate Christmas gift. These elaborate sets, with their intricate tracks and tiny carriages, were a staple under many Christmas trees. But it wasn't just about the toy itself. It was about the connection to travel during the holidays. Trains were a common mode of transport for families visiting loved ones during the festive season, and the train set under the tree was a charming nod to that journey. While video games and tech gadgets have taken over as the go-to gifts, there's a certain magic in the simplicity of a train set that can transport you back to a different era. From glimmering trees to cherished toys, these traditions defined the holidays. But the festive spirit didn't stop at decorations. Family feasts played a starring role. The holidays were also a time to bring out the best, literally. Do you remember the clinking of fine china as it was carefully set on the table? the gleam of silverware polished to perfection, and the elegant decorations that transformed the dining room into a festive haven. Families would gather around tables set with these cherished items, each piece holding its own story and significance. The act of setting the table with care was a love language of its own, a way of showing that this meal and the people sharing it were special. Do you recall the pride in choosing the perfect plates for each dish? Or the way your grandmother's china seemed to make every meal feel like a grand celebration? Today, disposable plates and casual attire have replaced these formal settings, but the memory of those elaborate holiday dinners lives on. Maybe it's time to dust off the fine china and make our holiday meals a little more special again. How would it feel to bring back that sense of occasion, to once again create a table that invites not just eating, but also connection and tradition? If you had children in the house, the grab bag was a must-have holiday activity. The idea was simple. Everyone would contribute a small gift, and each person would take turns reaching into the bag to see what they got. It was a game of chance and excitement that added an extra layer of fun to the holiday celebrations. Whether you ended up with a cool toy or a funny trinket, the real joy was in the experience of sharing it with others. The grab bag is a reminder that sometimes the best gifts are the memories we create together. In the early 20th century, receiving a bowl of exotic fruits like oranges, pomegranates, and nuts as a holiday gift was considered a luxury. These fruits, often hard to come by during the winter months, were treasured not just for their taste, but for the warmth and brightness they brought to a cold, dark season. The holiday fruit bowl was a symbol of abundance and good fortune, often placed at the center of the dining table, where its vibrant colors and rich scents added to the festive atmosphere. It was a thoughtful gift, one that showed care and consideration, as it took effort to gather such delicacies during the winter. However, as fruits became more accessible year-round and more extravagant gifts became the norm, the holiday fruit bowl tradition gradually faded away, replaced by other holiday treats and offerings. Yet the memory of this simple, yet meaningful gift still evokes a sense of nostalgia for simpler times. "Bring us some figgy pudding." This line from a popular Christmas carol refers to a dessert that was once a holiday staple. Figgy pudding is a rich, steamed cake filled with dried fruits and spices, often soaked in rum or brandy, giving it a deep, festive flavor. The pudding is traditionally made weeks before Christmas to allow the flavors to mature, a process that families eagerly anticipated. It's a British tradition that made its way to America, where it became a beloved part of holiday feasts. Often served aflame with a sprig of holly on top, figgy pudding was as much a visual delight as it was a culinary one. While it's not as common on our tables today, figgy pudding holds a special place in holiday lore, symbolizing the warmth, tradition, and indulgence of the season. Whether you've tasted it or only heard of it in song, figgy pudding remains a nostalgic reminder of Christmases past. These treats and games brought families closer. But what about the traditions that helped make these moments possible all year long? Have you ever wondered how people used to manage the costs of holiday shopping without the stress of last-minute budgeting? Back in the day, saving for Christmas wasn't left to chance. Many people opened Christmas Club savings accounts, depositing small amounts throughout the year so they'd have a nice sum ready when holiday shopping time rolled around. It was a smart way to manage holiday expenses and ensure you could afford the perfect gifts without financial strain. While modern banking and credit cards have made this practice less common, the principle behind it, planning ahead for the holidays, is one we could all benefit from today. The anticipation of saving up and then joyfully spending those hard-earned funds made the holiday season even more special, as it was all done with careful thought and preparation. You've heard of eggnog, but did you know there was a time when hot Dr. Pepper was a popular holiday drink? That's right. This warm, fizzy beverage was once marketed as a festive treat, especially during the colder months when people weren't as eager to drink cold sodas. It was a clever way for the Dr. Pepper company to keep their product relevant year-round. The drink was typically served with a slice of lemon, adding a bright, citrusy contrast to the warm, spiced flavor of the soda. Hot Dr. Pepper became a surprising twist on the classic soft drink, offering a cozy, comforting option for holiday gatherings. Families would serve it at Christmas parties or while decorating the tree, enjoying its unique taste that was unlike anything else at the time. While it might sound unusual today, it's a fun example of how holiday traditions can be quirky and delightful, reflecting the creativity and spirit of the times. Fruitcake, a dense, sweet loaf filled with candied fruits and nuts, was once a beloved holiday gift. Do you remember the excitement of unwrapping a beautifully wrapped fruitcake, knowing it was made weeks in advance and soaked in alcohol to preserve it? It was often given as a sign of good fortune and longevity, a symbol of the giver's best wishes. Did your family ever have a special recipe passed down through generations, or perhaps a particular brand that everyone looked forward to? Despite its rich history, fruitcake has become more of a holiday joke than a cherished tradition, with many people now opting for other types of desserts. Do you ever miss the unique taste and the nostalgia that came with each bite? Or the tradition of sharing a slice with friends and family, reminiscing about holidays gone by? Not every home had a real fireplace, but that didn't stop people from creating the cozy holiday atmosphere they craved. Cardboard fireplaces were a popular solution, offering families a whimsical and practical way to bring the spirit of the season into their homes. Often painted with bricks and adorned with garlands or paper stockings, these fireplaces became the heart of the holiday decor, giving everyone a place to gather around during the cold winter months. They were especially popular in small apartments or homes without chimneys, where space was limited, but holiday cheer was abundant. The act of setting up a cardboard fireplace became a cherished family tradition, with children eagerly awaiting the moment when it was time to hang their stockings with care. Although this tradition has faded with the rise of modern conveniences, it remains a charming reminder of the creativity and resourcefulness that defined holiday celebrations in simpler times. From quirky drinks to cozy decorations, these traditions added charm to the holidays. But what about the ones that lit up entire neighborhoods? Holiday lights are a beloved tradition, but do you remember the days when entire neighborhoods would compete to see who had the best display? Christmas light competitions were a big deal, with families going all out to create the most dazzling, eye-catching decorations. The spirit of friendly rivalry and the joy of walking through a neighborhood lit up with festive lights made the season feel even more magical. There was something special about the creativity and effort that went into each display, from intricate nativity scenes to synchronized light shows set to music. These competitions brought communities together, with neighbors often helping each other set up and offering friendly tips on how to make their displays stand out. While the competitions may not be as widespread today, decorating with lights is still a cherished part of the holiday experience. A large Yule candle was once a common holiday decoration, often lit on Christmas Eve and kept burning through the holiday season. It symbolized warmth and light during the darkest time of the year, serving as a beacon of hope and togetherness. The Yule candle was often adorned with holly or ivy, and families would gather around it to share stories, sing carols, and reflect on the year gone by. The soft glow of the candle created a cozy, intimate atmosphere, making it a cherished part of holiday celebrations. However, with the advent of electric lighting and other forms of illumination, this tradition gradually disappeared, leaving behind memories of flickering flames and the scent of burning wax. Have you ever wished on a Christmas pudding? Stir-up Sunday was a beloved British tradition where families would gather on the last Sunday before Advent to prepare their Christmas pudding. Each family member would take turns stirring the mixture, making a wish with every turn of the spoon. It was a time of togetherness and anticipation, as the rich, fruity batter was mixed, steamed, and then stored away until Christmas Day. The ritual of stirring the pudding was more than just a step in the recipe. It was a cherished moment that brought the whole household together, blending tradition with a touch of festive magic. Children would eagerly await their turn, hoping their wish would come true by Christmas morning, while parents would share stories of past holidays. However, with the decline in home baking and the convenience of ready-made desserts, this tradition has largely vanished, leaving behind fond memories of kitchen gatherings, the comforting aroma of spices, and the joy of preparing something special by hand. The anticipation of unveiling the pudding on Christmas Day added to the excitement, making the holiday feast even more memorable. Writing a letter to Santa Claus was once a widespread tradition among children. Do you remember sitting down with a piece of paper, carefully writing out your wishes, and maybe even decorating the letter with drawings or stickers? These letters, often filled with dreams of the perfect gift and promises of good behavior, would be meticulously penned and mailed to the North Pole, sparking excitement as you imagined Santa reading your note. Did you ever try to make your handwriting extra neat, hoping it would make a good impression? Or maybe you asked your parents to help you with the spelling of a particularly tricky word. While this tradition still exists in some form today, Many children now use apps or websites to send their wishes to Santa, making the handwritten letter a rarity. Do you miss the simple joy of dropping that letter in the mailbox, eagerly awaiting a response? Or perhaps just the magic of believing that Santa himself would read your words? These family-centered traditions brought warmth and wonder to the season. But let's not forget the small yet meaningful symbols that made holiday greetings extra special. Do you remember seeing small decorative stickers on holiday cards and packages? Those were Christmas seals, once a common sight during the holiday season. Originally created in 1907 to raise funds for tuberculosis treatment, Christmas seals quickly became a symbol of charity and goodwill, turning each card or package into a meaningful contribution to a greater cause. Families would purchase sheets of these seals, each one adorned with festive designs like holly, bells, or Santa Claus, and carefully place them on their holiday mail. It wasn't just about decoration, it was about being part of a nationwide effort to fight a devastating disease and help those in need. Schools and community groups often got involved in selling Christmas seals, making it a widespread movement that brought people together in the spirit of giving. Each seal was more than just an embellishment. It was a way to give back while spreading holiday cheer. Families took pride in adding these little symbols of hope to their holiday greetings, knowing they were part of a larger effort to make a difference. Though they're less common now, Christmas seals remind us of the importance of generosity and giving back during the season of giving. Before indoor rinks became popular, winter brought a magical scene to life, families gliding across frozen ponds under the open sky. Do you remember bundling up in scarves and mittens, lacing up skates, and stepping cautiously onto the ice? The sharp chill of the air mixed with the sound of skates cutting across the surface created a holiday experience like no other. Children would race each other while adults skated hand in hand, creating memories that were as simple as they were magical. For some, the joy of a pond skating day was capped with a thermos of hot cocoa and a roaring fire at home. But as indoor rinks grew more common and safety concerns increased, this tradition faded away. Today, the sight of a lively frozen pond is a rarity. Still, the memory of those carefree winter days lingers, inviting us to rediscover the joy of skating under the open sky. Receiving a holiday postcard from a loved one overseas was once a cherished tradition. The carefully chosen designs, festive stamps, and heartfelt greetings turned every card into a small treasure. Families would pin these postcards on mantles or refrigerators, creating displays of holiday cheer. Each card carried a little piece of faraway places, connecting family and friends no matter the distance. These weren't just cards, they were stories. Perhaps your family received one with a snowy European village or a tropical scene from Australia, sparking conversations about holiday customs around the world. Each card felt personal, tangible, a small piece of the sender's world. But as technology advanced, this tradition began to fade. Texts and emails replaced the handwritten notes, and the once anticipated arrival of postcards dwindled. Imagine the joy of reviving this tradition today. Sending a simple holiday postcard could once again bring a heartfelt touch to the season, bridging the gap between past and present. From the heartfelt joy of postcards to the playful excitement of snow days, holiday traditions came in all forms. Do you remember the thrill of snowball fights and building forts? Let's revisit one of winter's most playful pastimes. A fresh blanket of snow was once an open invitation for fun. Kids would dash outside, their breath visible in the frosty air, ready to sculpt snow into towering forts and ammunition for epic snowball fights. These weren't just casual games, they were full-blown battles of creativity and strategy. Snow forts were more than piles of snow. They were architectural masterpieces, complete with walls, tunnels, and sometimes even flags. Teams would form, alliances would shift, and the sound of laughter echoed through the neighborhood. It wasn't just about the snowballs or the forts. It was about the memories being made in the cold, crisp air. Today, milder winters and indoor entertainment have made this tradition a rarity. But those who experienced it will never forget the thrill of ducking behind a snowy wall or landing the perfect throw. Maybe it's time to dust off your winter boots and relive the joy of snowy adventures. Before holiday movies and streaming specials, the fireplace was the center of holiday entertainment. Families gathered around its warmth, listening to elders recount cherished holiday tales. Stories ranged from classic Christmas legends to personal family memories, all brought to life by the flickering glow of the flames. There was a magical intimacy in these moments. Children sat wide-eyed, imagining every detail of the stories, while parents and grandparents shared laughter and nostalgia. The tales weren't just entertaining. They were a way to pass down traditions and connect generations. As screens have taken over our evenings, this cherished practice has almost disappeared. But the simple act of storytelling by the fire holds a timeless appeal. Imagine turning off the devices for one night, lighting a fire, and sharing stories that spark wonder and joy. In a world of constant distractions, this quiet, heartfelt tradition could bring families closer together once more. From stories by the fire to traditions that lit up the whole neighborhood, the holidays brought people together in unforgettable ways. Let's take a closer look at one tradition that united entire communities under one dazzling tree. Decorating a neighborhood Christmas tree was once a beloved holiday tradition. Town squares and parks became gathering places as families brought ornaments, lights, and garlands to contribute to a collective masterpiece. These trees weren't just festive decorations, they were symbols of community spirit. The process of decorating was just as joyful as the finished tree itself. Neighbors shared stories, children ran around with excitement, and the air was filled with laughter. Once complete, the tree lighting ceremony was a magical moment, often accompanied by carols and steaming mugs of hot cocoa. While some towns still light public trees, the collaborative spirit of decorating them has largely faded. Imagine how magical it would be to bring this tradition back, turning holiday decorating into a celebration of connection and community. A simple act like hanging an ornament could spark conversations, friendships, and a sense of togetherness that's often missing in today's holiday celebrations. That concludes our journey through the forgotten holiday traditions that have faded into history. Remember to cherish these past traditions while creating new memories with your loved ones. Which of these traditions will you bring back to life this year? Let's make this holiday season one to remember. Subscribe for more nostalgic adventures and holiday inspiration.